Fran, what about you? What are your wishes?
Man, where to start for Destiny 2 or Year 3 big update, whatever it may be. As a quick recap, I had trouble choosing because a couple things that I always talk about. One is sort of definitely how bosses react and enemies react, right? More reactive. I just always like weak points and, animations, right? When you tag someone in a glowing eye, it explodes out and now they can't see, right? A little of how the Vex when you pop their head off. More things
Legend
like
of Zelda. Fran wants more Legend of Zelda.
And no, it's Metroid, it's
Not
Zelda,
a bad
but
thing to sort of want to emulate.
I know.
And to be fair, they've done some of that, right? The Cabal, I mean, the shields, the light shields, when they added those in with the Taken Cabal who push you back, those physics are awesome. More stuff like that because
takes you by surprise.
It really does, and I want more of that, but more that's also clever. Like if I could shoot out that light shield first, so now they can't do it to me. Now I know I can make that jump and not get pushed off. And anyway,
and then
stuff
their
like
whole
that.
mechanic changes.
Yeah. So anyway, wanted to talk about maybe stuff like that. Another huge thing for me has just been there's so many great weapons and switching, between stuff and heavily in PvE, I will say, because I understand the balancing act in PvP. But the point is, weapons wheel or something that, seriously, if I want to switch between a sidearm and a shotgun in the clutch, why not? But thought a lot about that. That could really change the game. And then obviously one of the other big things I always talk about is the time and the convenience of playing and how much joy you get out of every minute. And so out of all that, that's why I recapped the first two. It's the third one that I'm so focused on. So
joy.
It is, I spend so much time sitting around, managing, looking for things, using apps that are not made by Bungie. Thankfully, they have the new item manager, which is improving, but it's on a laptop, and it's not in the game. So where I'm going with this is, I really do hope this is what they're working on, but you look at the interface for the vault system, your inventory, all that. It is very glossy and pretty, but man, it takes time to load. It can't even get to heavy ammo in the clutch. I'm I pick where to hide sometimes, right? Because that how long it's going to take.
I can't believe that they didn't implement that with the Taken King. Before that, we were even talking give me a way to access heavy, just with the D-pad.
But these are big things. So my point is, I would love to see, and I'm being specific now, because we've talked about this a lot, I really want to see a dumbed down, to be very direct, just like the internet, like Google, whatever it needs to be. I mean, that's super ugly, but you get my point. I want to see just inventory that's super fast, super easy to use, and all of it's there. So on one side, the vault obviously is super important, but it really is when you think about it. It's rooted in this design that is it's pretty, it's awesome. You can inspect. I mean, I do like that, but they somehow got to figure out how to make that just so fast.
Why do we even have a vault? Why not just let us hold everything on us?
Yeah, you get it. Why do I have to go to the tower or pull up an app? The time required to grab a weapon is absurd, really, because it's punishing, and that's my point. Whatever, I want my invective. That thought to getting it should literally be start, scroll over, invective,
grab it,
got it.
Yeah.
It is nowhere close to that, and that's my point, because that's the stuff for me that really takes away from the game for me. The time that I want to play, and there's all these roadblocks, and I understand how they arrive there. Again, it's a pretty bold.
It's
game.
limitations.
Well,
of the
especially
engine.
because do you play multiple characters?
I only play Warlock.
Right. But I mean, you have multiple
three.
characters.
I have three
right?
Warlocks.
Yeah, so back in the day when I was playing 3, I'm only playing 1 now, and eventually I'll move up my second.
So the time.
When you jump on and you raid, and then you're all right, new character, switch characters, and now I have to move all of the gear that I want to use, with a phone app. It's just really annoying. How can I just not switch them immediately, right?
Exactly. And so the next part of this, obviously, is the weapons you carry and the amount of gear you carry. Obviously, there's a balance there, because the more that they allow you to have directly in front of you, the more confusing it is to find anything, and it becomes very hard to make decisions about what you need to get rid of.
Filters.
Well, yes, but what I mean is I want at least another 3 slots per thing. It's just way too little, if not a lot more than that, especially for weapons, a lot more. But that, again, huge improvement for me. And also, again, a new system that makes it easy to cycle. Think of this, sometimes I'm going into trials, and when I want to go to heavy round, right, I actually am planning where I'm putting the weapon.
The weapons, yeah.
Yeah, because the way they change is they change with each other when you reslot them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do this little swapping them to get to as close to scrolling over to get there.
I do that for multiplayer all the time because sometimes you need to switch between shotgun and sniper. You need to be able to do it quick, and then when you go in your menu, it takes time to load, and you need to be able to do it that, especially in multiplayer.
Weapon switching, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, I'm not going to solve this. I mean, I'm sure they've been thinking about it. But that's a big change. Could make a dramatic improvement. Weapon switching, weapon organization.
Inventory.
But the vault, man, again, I'm just trying to reduce the need in time. Like, I just want to play the game. I want to go in the Nightfall and immediately be ready without the apps and the this and the that. It's very complicated. So please solve that. But then part of this that I've been thinking about on sort of the easier to play, the time investment. And I don't know if this is just me, but hopefully not. And I'm curious what you guys think. Like, they really got to nail that, like, status looking for in your roster or something, like, of your friends list. Meaning, or even another way, it's solving for LFG as well. But the first step is of my friends, when I want to play, like, Golgoroth Challenge or whatever, ideally, it would just say that, like, right in my banner or whatever. And you scroll over, that's what you know I'm looking for. And even then, maybe you could put out a beacon. Like, I'm looking. Something, maybe you prioritize requests, like I'm looking on your friends list.
A lot of MMOs have done this and done it really well. There's no reason Destiny couldn't come up with a mechanic that would work.
I mean, maybe even tie it to the tower, right? Like, you can go and you can, by entering the tower, you are basically entering like in World of Warcraft, it was like general chat, right? Or LFG, looking for group, right?
Yep.
But you enter in and you have the option, you don't have to do it, but you have the option of setting a status that says you're looking for group. And if you do that, people can, like, it notifies you or notifies other players in the area or that who are looking or in a queue that these are the players who are in queue and want to do something.
Final Fantasy does that too. You just say, I want to do this thing. You go play the game and do other stuff. And then when a group needs somebody, they're like, hey, dude, do you want to join us? And you just go right into it.
Yeah.
It's a really fantastic system.
But again, to stress, first I'm just talking about with my friends. And I have a lot of, awesome guardians from the show that have added me. And just again, like last night, I'm just looking for 6 people to do Golgoroth Challenge. I'm a 3rd character. And it just takes time. That's all. And I know it'd be, if I literally went into the match, waited there and put out that beacon, it'd probably very quickly there'd be people who are looking. But instead what happened was, everybody's doing the same thing that we've all done, is you start hovering over people's names. Inspect, he's in, I think he's there.
Well,
you don't know.
It would also give players who want to engage in those activities an option of doing that with people that they don't know. Like, let's say you don't have friends or like people on your friends list. You can engage with people like without having to go to an external site and look for a group that you may or may not go with.
And that's where I think you get into the filters between friends and public and all that. But again, for starters, just with your friends, because those are people you can trust and raid with. We could do the whole song and dance about should raid be matchmaking, but I'm going to skip that part now and just focus on my ability to communicate what I want to do. And again, time saved in Destiny is fun had, because now I don't feel like it's punishing. I definitely skip things all the time because I'm like, it's been 30 minutes just to get into the Golgoroth Challenge. It's just way too much.
It took like 30 minutes just to get a group together today.
Yeah, I'm willing to say that upwards of 30% of my playtime is management, looking for people, etc. And that's way too big of a number when you got people playing 1,000 hours, 300 hours.
Definitely.
No. So last point I was going to make is a little off topic to that, but it was just like, it's in the same vein of sort of how easy it is to do stuff. I think they tried to get there with Prison of Elders. But like just a 2-player, a co-op, a something just very simple to like play with a friend. Doesn't have to be 3, doesn't have to be 6. But go through a story mode that is a little more co-op based, or I don't know what the solution is, but 2-player, easier point of entry.
Just more sort of PvE options.
Yeah.
Probably that, but I feel like every time I play, it's got to be, the 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Traditionally. But it's also not really designed cleverly around 3 people, I would say. And that's a generalization, by the way, but what I mean is maybe there could be some 2-player-esque type mode or challenge or something where it's very specific to 2 people.
Depending on how many people you go in with, you get a different experience.
Yeah, maybe it's just a rotation of 2-player strikes instead of it being the strikes, there. They have other
Prime.
designs. Yeah.
I've never played that strike since Taken King because it's not in the playlist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that was just a general thought. I mean, obviously you can just hop into strike rotations and stuff, but it just feels like it's still missing something with my friends.
Yeah.
So.
Any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm excited. They made tons of improvements for Taken King. So if that's any indication, I think that was their first step at, let's take what we have, let's clean it up as much as possible. I will say I don't think you're going to see a ton of big changes like this before this next big update and hopefully September, October next year. But I hope it's really significant for the next one. I mean, and also we didn't even get into what the raids could be. There's a lot they could be doing.
Kind of going off what you were saying, I think a big part of that would be ditching old gen consoles.
That's going to happen with Destiny 2. I'm almost convinced that they're not going to do it.
You want to give players like a next gen, streamlined, fast experience.
Yep.
make it a next gen only console.
Yeah, whatever you need to do to
you know?
get to where we talked about we want it to be, then
Definitely.
move on.
Sorry, PS3 and Xbox 360, I love you.
Yeah.
But
No, technology is
you're 10 years old now.
super important here. Yeah, you can't make one game for every platform. It's very challenging.
Well, guys, thank you for joining me, and thank you for joining us for this holiday episode of Fireteam Chat. This is our Destiny show. You can support the show by leaving a review on iTunes. And what else can they do, friend?
You covered it. That's the main one. Get into the comments, have a conversation with your fellow Guardians.
But there's also this really cool shirt.
That's right. You can get.
Yeah.
Hopefully you already got one for the holidays. But yeah, you can get a Fireteam Chat at go.ign.com/store. Is that right, Dustin?
That's correct.
And as always, you can check us out on our Xbox One app, our IGN One channel, which is an always-on streaming channel. That, of course, is programmatic, but you'll find us there sometimes chatting in there. And then PS4, we're on Amazon, Fire, Roku, and all over the place. So
Happy holidays, everybody. Until next time, Guardians out.